The Old Washroom was a scary dark place behind our old house. Somebody painted faces on the washroom walls. Skeleton faces on the washroom walls. Faces that glowed green whenever the light was turned off. Faces that dared you to watch them, laughing silently at your back. I didn't like the washroom. After dark, did the faces float into my bedroom, bringing with them horrible dreams while I slept? Did they roam in the blackness of the slumbering town, always hiding just out of sight? There behind the big tree, there beside the thick bushes, there inside the old brown shacks, watching, waiting. Safe in our sleeping bags, far away from the washroom, we were gathered there on the lawn between our house and the tall storage room. Something was coming toward us from the washroom, a shapeless dark hulk, coming around the corner of the house, slowly toward us, walking on two big feet, on, off, on, off. A blinking light glowed beneath a hooded face. I hid inside my sleeping bag. "Hey," whispered my friend, "it's just your dad with a blanket and a flashlight." I peeked, but I was still scared. He never once speaking. No, not a word. Only moaning, then retreating back the way he had come. On, off, on, off. Blinking light under chin-lit face. Scared, and I loved it. We all wanted more. Hungry for frights, we retold the story. That same scary story, my friends and I. I want my liver back. A story once told among young friends. Johnny was a naughty little boy. He was the kind of twisted child who whirled cats by their tails just to hear their shrieks and hisses. He picked on younger children just to hear them cry. He threw rocks into the greenhouse windows of Mr. Smith's prize orchid collection just to hear the glass break. And he placed thumbtacks on the girls' chairs at school just to see them all jump up at once. Johnny was also Mommy and Daddy's little angel. A spoiled boy with too many toys and no responsibility. One day, after breaking a few more of his toys, something he often did so that he could pout and beg for more, his mother called for him. "Johnny! Oh, Johnny!" "Yes, Mommy." He was always sweet to his mother, knowing that she was so easily manipulated. "Johnny dear, I hate to have to ask you this, but could you please do me a favor?" His mother had suffered a broken leg by accidentally slipping on Johnny's purposely misplaced skates. A heavy plaster cast hindered her movements and took away her ability to drive the family car. "Will you go for me and buy us some liver for tonight's supper?" Johnny hated liver, but he always knew how to get out of eating anything he did not like. Just act sick and look real sad. "Yes, Mommy, and can I have some extra money for candy?" he said, using his sad face. "Of course you can, sweetie. You're such a good boy." "Thank you, Mommy," he said, using his happy, excited face. With the money in his pocket, Johnny skipped off to the grocery store, stopping only once to pull the hind legs off of a grasshopper. At the store, he grabbed handfuls of his favorite candies, and after checking to make sure nobody was watching, he hid one candy bar in his pocket. The cashier rang up the candy and gave him 4 cents change, which he used to buy 2 more gumballs. During this candy spree, he did not stop once to think of buying any liver for his mother. With a big bag of gooey sweets in hand, he skipped toward home, stuffing his mouth and cheeks full of bombo gum and pauper babies, to the point he could not close his lips. Sticky saliva dripped onto his chin and hands. Then Johnny stopped dead in his tracks. "Oh no, the liver! I forgot the liver!" he moaned through his bulging chipmunk cheeks. "What will I do? Mom's going to—" Well, he knew how to handle his mother. But his father would soon be home, and he did not want to ruin the angelic image he had so carefully crafted in front of them. Johnny walked a little slower, trying to think of a good lie. But fate has many strange twists and turns. On the way home, he passed by the city cemetery where a funeral had ended earlier that day. He paused at the gate and saw a lone coffin waiting to be buried. The two workers had gone away, probably for a very late lunch. Johnny wiped his hands on his pant legs and reached in his pockets. There, beneath the wads of wax paper cartoon wrappers and kitty contest comic book entries, he found his sharp pocket knife. At home, he had a plastic see-through model of the human body and remembered where the liver was located. On the right, just under some ribs. An idea came to him, a devilish idea, one that no ordinary person would ever dare try in their most repulsive depths of imagination. Johnny was a little monster. He smiled. Why not, he thought. Mother would never know. And besides, he wasn't going to eat it anyway. He hurried over to the coffin, and with his long-developed toy-breaking expertise, managed to unlock the seals and open the lid. Inside, dressed in a black suit, white shirt, and black tie, lay the shriveled body of an aged, gaunt man with long, wispy white hair. Johnny recognized the man. It was the mean old janitor who used to get after him down at the school, where the man had caught Johnny breaking windows. "Next time, you little monster, I'm going to call the police. Or maybe I'll come over to your house myself," the man had threatened. But the janitor's threat had vanished into a spasmodic coughing fit, a threat now silenced forever. Well, all the better, Johnny thought. Johnny hesitated, worried only that he might be seen, but no one was around. He opened the knife's longest blade and began the desecration, cutting and digging until he had a big hunk of human liver. That is, he was almost certain it was liver. He closed the lid, wrapped the meat in a piece of dirty brown newspaper from the nearest trash can, replaced the locks, washed his hands and the knife in a hose faucet, and then skipped away home with his blood-soaked trophy. His only regret was that all his candy was gone. At home, Johnny's mother was busy doing the laundry, not an easy task with crutches. Johnny crept into the kitchen, found a platter, opened the flour canister, and coated the wet liver in a layer of white powder. "Mommy," he called with a honey-sweet tone, "come see what I did." "Why, Johnny," she exclaimed, "you're such a good boy. Why, you have already helped your poor mother and rolled the liver in flour all by yourself, just the way I do." "Yes, Mommy," he beamed. She gave him a big kiss. "Now go out and play until your father comes home and supper is ready. Go." Johnny's father came home from work late, but supper was still warm. He paused at the screen door and sniffed the air with delight. Liver and onions, my favorite." At the table, Johnny did not eat a single bite. "I'm not hungry," he whined. "I have a tummy ache," which was true because of all the candy he had piggishly devoured. "Oh, you poor boy," said his mother. "Yes, son, you look a little green around the gills," said his father. "You better put on your pajamas and go straight to bed, and, unless I miss my guess, you won't be going to school tomorrow." Johnny tried to look sad, but inside he was glad. There was something strange, something unhealthy about that liver. Johnny's parents could not explain why they both began to feel so extremely drowsy. They trudged off to bed and soon fell into a deep sleep, a slumber so profound that no loud noises, not police sirens, alarm clock bells, or even fighting cats, could possibly disturb before morning. Upstairs in his room, Johnny lay wide awake, staring at the ceiling. A light breeze was blowing through the curtains, causing the fabric to beat gently against the window casing. A train horn groaned in the distance. The lights of an approaching car cast shadows across the walls, bending the familiar features of his possessions into ominous abstractions. Even the model of the see-through man seemed to turn, watching him in an accusing way. In the street below was another shadow. A girl screamed. Car tires screeched and sped away. Johnny went to the window to investigate the commotion, but it was too dark to really see anything. Just then, on the sidewalk, next to the trees, there was a motion. A tall, shadowy form dressed in a dark suit, walking in a strange manner. Johnny strained his eyes, trying to see who it was. The figure stopped at the front gate and slowly turned, looking straight up at Johnny's window. "Johnny," it whispered in a graveled voice. Johnny retreated away from the window. The iron gate swung open with a metallic moan, and the man began walking toward the front door. "Johnny," whispered the voice from the front porch. "Johnny, I want my liver back." The boy's eyes bulged from their sockets, and he leapt into bed, pulling the covers tightly over his head. The latch clicked, and the front door whooshed across the floor as it swung open. "Johnny, I'm in your house, and I want my liver back." He tried to call for his mom, mouthing the word, but no sound came out. He was too frightened for his voice to work, but it did not matter, for his parents were fast asleep, unable to be awakened. The carpet on the stairs could be heard crumpling under footsteps. One step, I want my liver back. Crump. 2 steps, I want my liver back. Crump. Creak. 3, I know you're awake, Johnny. I can smell my liver on your hands. The footsteps bounded up the stairs. "Johnny, Johnny." The floorboards in the hallway squeaked. He clung to the covers, hoping their magic would protect him from the nighttime monsters. "Johnny, I'm outside your room, and I want my liver back." Johnny gathered himself just enough to peek over the blankets. The crystal doorknob began to silently turn, and the door opened a crack. Johnny dove back underneath the covers, shivering uncontrollably. "Where is it, Johnny? I have come so far, so far. I want my liver back." He heard something walk over to his bedside and then stand there, waiting for a long time. Then there was this hissing chuckle. "A game. Let's play a game just like little piggies going to market. Here we go. 1 cover. I want my liver back." Johnny began to whimper. "No, no, no, no." 2 covers. I want my liver back. "Please, no, please." Johnny clenched, his eyes closed. 3 covers. I want my liver back. All that remained was 1 thin sheet. 4. A horrifying scream pierced the air. Then another and another. House lights came on for over a block in every direction. Dogs barked for a moment, then settled down. Johnny's house, however, remained dark. It is too awful to describe the gruesome scene that greeted Johnny's parents the next morning. The case was never solved, and never will be. One thing is certain: Johnny's liver was never found.